Let's Talk World with Maria Teresa. And I still have here Mr. Diablo. So we're gonna actually get into a little bit that. I don't know how to actually pronounce that right, but
Di bello. It's di bello.
Di Bello. No, I said we're gonna actually ask more questions.
Okay.
Yeah, probably in your love life, personal life. But I'm gonna ask that question. But before that, I wanna say hi and thank you so much for you guys for tuning in. Thank you. If there are some technical difficulties or something going on, we will try our best to actually fix all those things. And I would like to also say thank you to Jeff Fisher that had a show earlier and the pilot show of Lance Parvin's show earlier. I hope you guys have so much fun on that. And well, anyway, since we have still Mr. Diablo Di Bello.
I'm not leaving. I'm sticking here. I like it here. This feels phenomenal. I love it here.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? Like we were talking about earlier, we would love you to be a part of our team.
Oh, this is exciting. This is like, I just see a lot of potential here. Absolutely.
Oh, thank
this
you.
lady is going to rock it all the way to the top. No doubt about that.
You shouldn't be saying that. But anyways, do you know that I just had the guest last week, Miss Imani Ortiz.
Okay.
She started her own radio station.
Oh, wow.
Social media radio station inside her her living room.
Wow.
And now where she's at now, she's a huge entity.
That's fantastic.
It is.
That is
It
fantastic.
is. She's my big influencer.
Wow.
Yeah. Hi, Imani. I love you, girl.
Good
DJ
job, girl.
Bad Girl.
Fantastic. Yes.
Well, okay, we were talking about earlier about hearing no's and failures.
Yes, exactly. And one of the things, another thing that I notice a lot is like whatever you like to do, you want to be very clear defining what your outcome is, right? So sometimes people say like, oh, I want to be successful, or I want to be in a happy relationship, or whatever. And this is like, you need to be more precise, right? Hey, this is exactly what I want to happen. And you create it in your mind, kind of like if you're watching a movie, like a vision, right?
Yes.
And then when you have that clarity, it's amazing, but things start happening. That happened to all of you at some point in your life, right? You said, this is exactly what I want. And then the right person called you, or you just met somebody at the grocery store, or you just picked up a book and it's talking about what you wanted to read, right?
You know, that's really funny
Yeah.
because I am the kind of person that I don't actually set aside anybody. Every single person that I have an eye contact with, I say hi, hey, how are
Yes.
you? Or start a really pity conversation. And then when you start actually having a longer conversation, there's a reason why actually that happened.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
Mm-mm.
And I heard a while ago somebody talking about, everybody's on their phone, right?
Yes.
And then what's happening is people are on the phone reading about somebody they don't even know that did something in Thailand, right? And they're not present to the person that is next to them, right? And then somebody said that you are not honoring a human life.
Yes.
When you have somebody in front of you or next to you and you're there looking at your phone, you are dishonoring somebody's life. So I made a decision at that moment, like when I go to a checkout counter and you pay attention, right? You see it's like the person at the other side of the counter might be totally ignored because somebody is just texting, right? And then they just pay and they leave and they say, you know what? I'm never going to do that. So I made that decision that every time I run into another human being, you look at them, make eye contact, and you say, hi, how's your day going? Just ask that question at a counter at the
That's
supermarket,
humanity. I love
and you're
that.
going to see people like, you see they like light up. And say,
Yes.
thank you for asking. Because probably 25 people went by and they just totally ignored them, right?
Yes.
And if they have a name tag, just say, hey, are you married? How's your day going today?
Yeah, single.
Whatever, Yeah, maybe if you're single, I'm happy to be single, so you could say, you never know, right? And then what happens is like when you're with somebody else, turn that phone off. You can always get back to it, right? It's like we survived for millions of years, right, without a phone, right?
Yeah.
And then when you start getting to know that person next to you, that's when the magic happens. You say, oh, I didn't know you did this and that and that and that. And the other recommendation, Maria, I'd like to give is like focus on providing value. Right? We
It's
live in a
important.
society where everybody's thinking about themselves, right?
Yes,
How
yes.
can I get my share, whatever.
Yeah,
and what I
it's
learned,
not me.
Yeah.
It's actually, do you know what is business etiquette. No, no, no. Oh God, I forgot about that. But what is? I'm trying to remember.
Okay, it's gonna come.
What is the What is the business ethics? There you go.
Business ethics.
Yeah, what is the
Business
meaning of
ethics.
business ethics? It's
Okay.
actually it's to harm the less,
Yes.
but it's an advantage. It's benefit the most.
Benefit the most. Okay.
So it's
okay.
not see that's the
Do the least harm.
yeah
And benefit the most.
yeah,
Right.
see that is what a lot of entrepreneur and businesses is forgetting. A lot of corporation are forgetting about that business
Yes.
ethics because it's all about me
Yeah,
me.
yeah, that's true.
And when I went to college 3 years ago, I graduated 3 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I actually graduated with business management
Okay.
and
Oh,
business
fantastic.
accounting. So
Oh,
I'm an
wow.
accountant, but I'm not using
Wow.
it. I should go on communication actually because I'm doing this.
Oh, you're doing excellent. This is right up your alley. Yeah.
And then that is actually being drilled in my mind, that business ethics, because I am more of a heart and passion kind of a person. I don't know if that makes
Yes,
sense,
yes,
but
yes.
so that's the reason why that business ethics. I remember the customer service meaning
Yes.
and the business ethics meaning. That is just drilled in my head. So,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I am trying to actually practice that and deliver and transfer that to everybody.
Yeah, and this is a perfect vehicle to do that. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it focus, and that's exactly what you're doing. Is like focus on providing value, and if you provide enough value, then somehow that energy is going to come back, and it may not be from the same venue, from the same channel, from the same people, but eventually something. Like I give you an example. I'm an influencer. I know a lot of people, and then people know a lot of people. So basically, almost every day, I get people calling me, texting me, Facebook messaging, say, who do you know that does this or that, right? Because they know that I know a lot of people. So I'm always giving referrals constantly,
Nice.
right?
Amazing.
And then I say, I talk to this person, talk to that person. And then what happens because of that, I constantly getting referrals, right? So like business just flows because
You're a busy man.
because I'm not thinking about myself, right?
Yes.
I'm not thinking about. So
I
in
love
other words,
that. I've seen that passion and the heart.
Yeah, exactly. And think about it. If everybody in this community does the same thing, it's like how can we help each other? Then everybody benefits, right? So it's
Yes,
fantastic.
and everybody benefits and everybody happy.
Exactly.
We are all happy camper.
Exactly.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we stop actually trying to put down everybody or putting ourselves first before anybody else?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
and we all have value. Everybody has value. So you have a lot of value. Doesn't matter what situation you're going through right now. Maybe you're going through some challenges or things didn't work out. Well, you still have a lot of value to provide, right? And I heard a speaker many years ago saying, somebody was coming down like, oh, all the problems I have and what's going on in my life and my life is worthless, whatever. And this guy said, do you have a $20 bill? So the guy pulled out a $20 bill, right? And then he said, if I throw it in the floor, would you pick it up? And the guy said, yeah, of course I'll pick it up, right? So he got the $20 bill, and instead of throwing it in the floor, he just make it like messed it up, like a little, like a little ball, and then he throw it on the floor. And then he said, well, that looks like that $20 bill went through some challenges, right? He said, will you still pick it up? And the guy said, oh yeah. And how much is that $20 bill worth? And he says, $20. See, the value didn't decrease because of the challenges that went through, right?
Yes.
But sometimes people think that I'm just worth $1 now, not
I love,
20.
I love just what you just said because like what you are saying earlier, people go through struggling and these different variables in life that they're going through, and those doesn't go away.
Yes.
Doesn't go away. It's part of life.
Exactly.
It's actually the way you deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not about the problems. It's not about the
Exactly.
problems and issues. It's actually how you deal with it. You are the main denominator of that problem.
Exactly.
And I just realized a few months ago. Oh no, not. It's actually a few months ago. I've been through a lot of struggles.
Oh, wow.
And I keep on actually worrying every single day. And then eventually I said, why am I worrying? It's the same problem that I had few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said, why am I worrying? And I went through that struggle for a few months,
Oh boy.
and now I have it again. Why I'm gonna go through it again. So now
Exactly.
it totally changes my mentality in the next few months, and I'm like, you know what, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly. It is what it is. If you
So,
can't change it, just,
yeah,
live with it.
you
Right?
cannot, if you can control it and you cannot change it, live with it.
Exactly.
And that's what I
agree with
learned.
that.
And I would like to actually let that everybody know. It's not you. It's not only you who's having the same struggle. Everybody goes through it. If you actually listen and pay attention around you, everybody does have the same problems as you have. And it's only you who matters the most. It's only how you deal with it.
That is absolutely so true. This is something that I learned. What is interesting is like everyone see the universe. Because one time I was thinking, why are all these challenges and these problems, right? So this is what I learned. The universe is in a constant state of change, right?
Yes.
The whole universe, right? The Earth is rotating, it's moving around the sun, so the weather is changing, people are changing, moving, going to work, coming from work, whatever. So the whole universe is not static, right? It's in a whole state of change, so that's going to create some challenges, right?
Yes.
You have too many people going to the same place at the same time, there's going to be traffic there, right?
Yes.
So people, oh my God, I can't believe all this traffic, and I say, well, it's like there's a lot of
that
people
every day.
going at the same time, so what you want to do is like, it's funny when people show up late all the time, right? And they go like, oh, I'm so sorry that I'm late. And then it's like, I say, well, you've been late like every single day for the last 10 years, right? And then they go like, I say, oh, that traffic. And I'm going like, okay, you didn't know there was going to be traffic, right? It's like, in other words, one thing that I learned about excuses, I was clean out of excuses when I was very young. Somebody said, Pablo, excuses are like belly buttons, right? Everybody has one. Everybody has one, right? So like, and then the other thing he said, the excuses sound believable to the person making it, right? And totally bullshit, I don't know if I can say that word, totally bullshit to the people that is listening, right? So when somebody comes and they give you an excuse, you go like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying that, right? But the person that is giving the excuse is like, oh, you're not going to believe what happened to me, blah, 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 right? So I learned I don't give excuses, and I don't accept excuses either, right? It's like, say, hey, if you're late, just say, hey, I was late, right? I didn't prepare properly, right?
I'm not into that level yet that you have.
You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's the way it is, right? So then, because things are going to happen, right? So what you do is, if you're really smart, you say, you know what if there is traffic, right? It's something called a fudge factor, right? And by the way, I'm not perfect at all. So I'm, like I may arrive late or whatever, but you're not going to hear a story from me. Like, so like, oh, there was traffic. And I'm going like, how long you been living in LA? Like really traffic in LA or something like that, right? So it's a matter of taking full responsibility
of your
for
actions,
our own lives, right? And if we all take full responsibility for our lives, right, then we don't become dependent on somebody else. Sometimes we give our happiness to somebody else, right? Oh, I'll be very happy. She does this and this and that. When I'm giving somebody else total control of my happiness, how smart is that, right?
I don't want that.
We don't want that, right?
No, I don't
you don't want that.
No, I don't do that
No,
either.
not at all. So, but when we take responsibility and I say, you know what, that's the only thing that I can control.
Yes.
How I show up every day, right?
Exactly.
And some days they're going to go great, and some days something's going to happen. But I had the fortune actually a couple of weeks ago at UNLV. They had a speaker coming out, and he is the first blind person, okay? Eric Wennemeyer, he's the first, just imagine this, if you complain about anything in your life, oh, I wish this was different and everything, just imagine if you were blind right now, okay? So suddenly the problem you had before goes away. It was not a big deal, right? So this young man, when he was 13 years old, just remember when you were 13, you felt awkward and you wanted to be cool or whatever. The guy became blind at 13 years old, right?